It's Shavuot. Happy Shavuot, Chag Sameach, which means that today is all about choosing to be Jewish. Hey, Rabbi, Chag Sameach.
Well, hello there. How are you?
I'm doing
just
well.
tilt myself up so that there we go.
How's it going?
It's dry for the moment.
It's been a little wet down here in Florida.
Indeed, it has.
And and kudos, I guess, to FP&L that we still have power.
Electricity.
Yeah, we still have electricity.
And our air conditioning is working.
Right. Don't say anything. Don't say.
No, I didn't. I said nothing. Nothing of the sort.
Today is happy.
Chag Shavuot Sameach.
That's right. Today's the second day for those crazy people who observe 2 days. I mean, for those more traditional folks who observe 2 days, today's the second day of Shavuot. For the rest of us, it is the day after Shavuot. I was talking with one of my teachers the other day, and she asked me, sort of out of the blue, what's the connection between the book of Ruth and Shavuot? And I explained that, Ruth is really the first person to choose to be Jewish. She had every reason to go back to her home after her husband died. Naomi's son died. Naomi even said to her, go home. You don't need to stay here. And Ruth said, no, your people are my people. Your God is my God. I'm staying right here. And she then became the King David. Yeah, came from her. And so on Shavuot, when we remember the revelation, getting the Torah from God, it's striking that we read this story about choosing to be Jewish when you and I didn't really choose, or maybe we did, but
I
not
think
at the beginning.
Right. And I love the book of Ruth. I actually taught about it yesterday during Lunch and Learn before the deluge of rain. And every year I come back to it and I love it more. I discover more in it. You're right. It is a story of choosing. And you're right and wrong in the sense that we choose or we didn't choose Judaism because you and I had Jewish parents and our Jewish parents brought us up to that. But one of my teachers said to me many years ago, we are all Jews by choice, because in a modern society where I can choose to be whatever I want, I choose to be Jewish.
I was doing a teaching the other night about, and the question about bar, bat mitzvah, and confirmation came up. And one of the things that I said is that in some ways, when the Reform movement brought confirmation into the world, it was a celebration of what you just said. It's that bar, bat mitzvah, kids don't really have a choice. Like their parents sort of make them do it. But confirmation is an opportunity for kids who have now grown up a few years to say, you know what, no, I meant that. Like I'm choosing this.
And I think that the most successful confirmation is done in 12th grade at a time. Yeah, usually when I came here, it was done in 9th grade.
Really?
One year after bar and bat mitzvah, they're not any more prepared to make that decision to confirm their Jewish identity. I think at 12th grade is the right time. They're heading off. They're going to be on their own, quote unquote, in college. And that's the time to say, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And Ruth is an example for them as well with that, that she has to stand up and say, this is who I am. She does it to Boaz when she snuggles up next to him and uncovers his feet, and Boaz says, who is this? And she says, I am Ruth, and this is what I need, and this is what I want in that scene.
The way you just said that, sometimes you know something, but you hear it a certain way, and it just sparked. The way you just said that she stood up and said, "This is who I am." Um,
Look at
that
look at the verses. It's
Yeah,
so it's so clear of her identifying herself. It's not just because it's dark out and he can't see and he's wondering who's near him. Right? It is. She could have said it's Ruth the Moabite. And that's that. But she continues.
yeah, and that is a choice. And what just sort of gave me chills a bit is how nowadays, not just for people who are literally choosing to be Jewish, converting to Judaism, but for us also, we are all faced with that same choice. Are we willing to wear the Jewish star, wear the tag, whatever it is, whatever Jewish symbol? One of my professors once asked me, how long would it take if an alien came down and came to your home? How long would it take for them to know that you're Jewish? Would they see the mezuzah? Would they hear?
It's a great question.
It's a great question. So we are, like Ruth, having to make a choice about the extent to which we want to say, "This is who I am."
Right.
And on top of that, not only is it us, but I know that you have been, talk about a flood, deluged with conversion students who are all choosing to be Jewish in this moment.
Particularly at this moment.
Yeah.
And that has been extraordinary, unlike any other time in my career, where I have individuals who are not just converting because I've met somebody Jewish and we're considering getting married, but I'll say two other groups. Right? There are the individuals who are not connected to anybody Jewish and feel a calling to Judaism in this moment where being Jewish isn't easy. Right?
Why do you
We're
think
standing up?
Why do you think that is? Why are they feeling it? Do you have a sense of why they?
Well, I'm going to say there's the third group. So let me, and then I'll answer the question. The third group, along with those who have found somebody Jewish who are creating a Jewish home, and then somebody who is coming to it as an individual. Then there's the third group, which I think is most fascinating, and that is the individuals who have been in long-term relationships, who have been married for 27, 28 years. Right now, I have two students. One has been married for, I think, 28 years, and the other one who has been married for 16, 15 years. Long-standing, have raised their children as Jews, or are raising their children as Jews. And what reason do they have? Why do they need to convert at this point? And it is, to answer your question, I think it is where they are saying, if I am connecting to what's going on in the world, okay, I need to take a stand. I need to, if I'm going to throw my lot in with my Jewish partner, I really need to do it. Right? I can't just say, yeah, I'm connected with my spouse. Right? I have to say I'm a part of the Jewish people. Right? And I find that to be fascinating. Truly challenging.
Yeah.
And then where I think every one of my students who is choosing Judaism, they come to it for a variety of reasons, and then they discover some of the beauty and the joy and the depth of Judaism. Right?
What are you a Hillel or Shammai guy when it comes to conversion?
I tend to be a Hillel guy with a little bit of Shammai um, in me, in that I'm very sensitive to what is going on with a conversion student. I don't push them. Right? If they miss a meeting, if they don't get canceled. Uh, if they if they stop seeing me for a month, that's your process. I say it a million times. Hey, it's not my process, it's your process. Hey, on the other hand, I'm a little bit of a Shammai rabbi in that I require a lot more than most rabbis do.
Do you really?
I will meet with a student on top of the 16-week Intro to Judaism course. I'll meet with them probably another 20 times.
Wow.
Right? Which is a lot.
Yeah. For those who don't, the question that I asked was, there's a famous Gemara about a non-Jew comes to Hillel and Shammai to convert, and goes through, there's this whole story of, he makes kind of these silly, ridiculous arguments, and then we get to see how Hillel and how Shammai respond. And Hillel's response is, by and large, welcome. Now let's go. Right. Let's study. Whereas Shammai is, we have to get things in order. We have to do. And so the way I've thought of myself vis-a-vis choosing Judaism or folks who are converting to Judaism is that the Jewish world, by and large, is Shammai. That we say, study first, then you convert. Hillel, from my perspective, is, you want to be a Jew? Great. Come on in. Let's go for a swim. Done. Beautiful. Right. You're a Jew. Now, let's learn. Now, let's study. And it just seems like we've had it so backwards for so long. If this is indeed a choice that people are making, should we not... I'm not sure I agree with what I'm about to say, but should we not honor that by just embracing it immediately and then living a Jewish life, which is a life of study, as opposed to making them jump through hoops?
Maimonides says in Mishnah Torah that you have to draw someone in with strings of love and then with bonds of love. Okay, I think about when I am with a new conversion student. I think about it as if I were holding onto them by a thread. Mm-hmm. Right, that's it.
Yeah,
and that's all I've got, because if I pull too hard, they're gone. Right, it's only after they're in the middle of the process and they've invested, right, then I can start to really pull them along, right, as if I've got a rope around them.
That's beautiful.
Right?
That's really nice.
So, look, you and I, we asked the question to ourselves.
Yeah.
Why would we choose Judaism?
Yeah.
Right? We've got it, but why now? If we had the choice to start all over again, right? Why would you choose Judaism?
I don't know that I would. I don't know that I would. Not.
Oh, that's the wrong
answer. No, wait. Not because I would choose something else in its place. Not at all because of that. But because Judaism is so much a part of my DNA. I don't know anything. I don't even know anything else. I can't even imagine a life without... When I go into the supermarket, I think about kashrut before I think about prices. And I'm not even strictly kosher, by the way. It's not about being strictly kosher. It's like, Friday night to Saturday, even though I'm not strictly Shomer Shabbat, it's there. And so if I were coming to it without that, I don't know how I would choose any. I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm not sure that that's the elevator speech I want.
No, but that's that's an argument. That's an argument for Shammai. That's an argument for study a little, learn a little.
To study,
right?
For sure,
right. Because once I did that, then I would discover it. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
what about you?
Okay. So my answer is one, because it provides a framework for my life. Any religion worth its salt should be able to do that. Okay, but the framework that Judaism provides for me is a far more compelling one than others. Okay, why? Because Judaism answers some of the big questions. Right, and that's important to me. Right, and that while we spend most of our life trying to lengthen our lives, right, I think that Judaism is far more interested in deepening our lives, right? And that Judaism teaches that the journey is far more important than the end.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the answer to the question. It's the asking of the question and the delving in and the challenge that is far more invigorating, enlivening, and worthy. Right? Whether we eat this or don't eat this, I don't think I want God. I want a God that asks me to engage in that thinking.
Right. I once gave a sermon that argued, I got in a lot of trouble for this, that argued that God doesn't care what we eat. God doesn't care what we do on Shabbos. God doesn't care, and God does not care about any of that. God cares that we care what we eat. God cares that we care about what we do on Shabbat. And again, that's not an argument for religiosity. I can care about what I eat by eating healthy or by being a vegan or by keeping, there are a million different ways. What God cares about is, as you said, is that we engage with the questions, with the values, with the world. Not that we come out any specific way. Can I just say one thing though about what I said before, because now I feel a little bad. So I feel a little bad. And I think the reason I said that is because I don't believe that if I were to look at all the religions, if they were all laid out before me, I don't think that I would say Judaism is the best one. That's not the way I think. I think they're all beautiful. They're all different. They're all magnificent in different ways. Judaism is certainly unique. Is it better? I don't know. And that's why we don't go out and proselytize. Like, we don't try and sell it. It's not, this isn't, we're not roving salespeople because, on the one hand, because I'm not sure that we're entirely convinced that, it's the best. It's ours. And that's enough. It doesn't need to be the best. So that's why I'm not sure that I can answer the question of why would I choose. So that is an argument for learn about it, steep yourself in it, live it a little, and if it's yours, if it's meant to be yours, you'll find it, you'll connect, it'll happen.
Yep.
But that's also real kavod to the folks that you work with and that I've worked with over the years who are making
that choice.
Yeah, because here I am. I've been a Jew for 50 plus years. I've been a rabbi for 30 plus years, and I can't even answer the question, would I choose? And here these folks are. coming to it. It's magnificent.
Yeah. I'll tell you one other thing that I think Judaism gives, and there are just so many. Uh, I think that Judaism teaches us to balance our lives. Okay? Doesn't expect us to be this or that. It expects us to find a middle ground. It reins in our arrogance. Oh, we are created B'Tselem Elohim in the image of God. In one pocket
Right.
is that little sheet, and I am but dust and ashes in the other, on a little sheet in the other pocket, and both of those pockets are there to remind us. Um, I think Judaism has great ideas, um, and and those big questions are are so crucial to who we are as human beings. And so, it, do I like every answer? No. Okay? But I like the fact that I can dig through all of Jewish thought, which is represented in all the books that surround me and are on that side of the room and that side of the room, uh, and find in them wonderful wisdom.
I was teaching the other night a midrash, and someone said, maybe the Torah just says that because, or like maybe it was a scribal error. And I said, stop ruining my midrash with your, with your Torah. Like, don't.
Right.
And for me, I think part of what makes Judaism so rich and so beautiful and so worthy of being chosen is the complexity. You talked before about balancing, and I think about how questioning is so fundamental in Judaism, and yet obligation is also fundamental in Judaism. And so, can you question everything? Yeah. At the end of the day, do you have to follow some laws? Yeah. And that tension is really beautiful. And when you find a text that is completely antithetical to another text, like that tension is so beautiful. That push and pull. It's kind of the shuckle of Judaism. That I want to come close, but I can't come too close. I want to come close, but I can't come too close. It's
Right.
maybe that's what it is for me. Maybe you've helped me hone in on it. That's, I think, what is really powerful for me is
Well,
that it's complex. It's the beautiful complexity of it all.
sure.
So,
Well, I'd say Hag Shavuot Sameach. All of us should find beauty in Judaism, and should, as we do each and every year, choose it for ourselves anew.
amen, amen, amen. Have a
All right.
lovely
Well,
rest
stay
of the
dry.
day. Stay
There
dry,
you go.
everyone.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
We'll see you on Shabbos.
Have a
Bye.
great one.